Here's an update on the GPZ 1100 project. I have been struggling to get this thing running right. I checked the airbox. I've had everything set up correctly with the airbox. The air filter, got that sorted out, but it was still running horribly rich and basically running on these two cylinders and not those two cylinders, and I couldn't figure out why. It kept fouling the plugs and not running right. So I took the fuel injection throttle bodies off, and it's probably easiest to see here. This was bent, and so what happened was these were always open. They never did close fully. These did not open until about an 1/8 throttle. And so you just had these actually requiring fuel, and these two just the throttles being shut, but then getting fuel at the same time as the other ones. And so what I've done is synchronize them all to open at the same time, and that's what you want. You want them going from closed to open at exactly the same time. So I'll tweak this a little bit more to get these all synced up by eye at least, and I'm also going to mess with this a little bit. This is the way everything was set up. This didn't even do anything, and so now I've got it so where it'll actually function. This is your, on the side of the fuel injection, this is basically your setting your idle, but it wasn't even touching before. It wasn't even touching this guy at full. And as well, the choke, which should open all of them just a little bit, this choke wasn't functioning at all, and this linkage was bent. So I have gone in and straightened everything out, and such that at least when I put the choke on, it's going to do something, and it should just give it a little bit of a fast idle when you put it on choke. So we're working on things, trying to get this bike squared away, straightened out, and functioning like it should. And sometimes when somebody else has gone in there and farted around and didn't know what they were doing, you've got to go in and correct. So I'm actually very happy. This is I'm happy that this little bit right here would cause the symptoms that I'm seeing on the bike, and that is basically when I was running the bike at higher RPM and everything, it was a higher throttle setting, everything was finally opening up, then the bike would clear up and run fine. But when it was idle, it wouldn't idle on these two cylinders at all, and that's because these were open and getting some air to the cylinders, and so these two cylinders were running. These two simply weren't, because the throttle was completely closed while these were open. So again, I'm happy to go in and find a reason for the symptoms, and I'll go ahead and continue to clean these and get them synchronized at least by eye. And usually if you do a really precise job with that, you don't have to go in and synchronize them again. They generally work pretty well after that. So we'll see. I'll keep working on it and put it all back together, and we'll try it out again. All right, these bad boys have been cleaned. They are synchronized. They all open at the same time here. The choke works, and now the idle adjustment works as well. So we will put these back on the bike, and let's just put it this way, it can't run any worse than it was running earlier. So this should go a long way in helping the bike run like it should. Okay, time for the moment of truth. I'm a little bit hesitant here, but I will go ahead and see if we can't fire her up. Well, she runs better, but she's still disgustingly rich, and it's still passing fuel down into the exhaust and everything. So, but it's running on all 4 cylinders now. It actually sounds a whole lot healthier, and so now it's just a matter of trying to figure out. I don't know if somebody messed with the injectors in this. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the with it running as rich as it is, but it's a fog machine right now. So one problem down, one more to go.